Hello everyone, welcome back to another Goji93 video. The reason why this one's a bit different and looks a bit... Hold on. Sorry. It looks a bit early in the day. It's because I'm actually recording this video at 6 in the morning. So because of that, I don't got any skit or anything for this figure. But I do have to say, other than that, an upcoming review, the next review after this is... My next review being Godzilla Ultima. And it's my last singular point review. After that, we will be taking a look at the exclusive edition Kong from Godzilla vs. Kong. One other thing we will be looking at after we're done with the default Jet Jaguar review, or Jet Jaguar beta review, the Nintendo Switch 2. Yes, I have a Nintendo Switch 2. I've owned it. I've transferred my games from my Switch 1, and I have connected everything. See, I have the dock out, the camera it comes with, and all the other items. They gave me an extra camera, which is nice, so I'll be unboxing that after we look at Jet Jaguar. And I'll also do my first actual, you could say, gaming console review as well during this. So it's a Monsterarts and console review. Let's get to Jet Jaguar 2021 or Jet Jaguar beta. I just remembered, we always look at the box before getting to the figure. So the front of the box shows Jet Jaguar beta holding her. I think it's a her. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's a her or he. Because of the voice. The voice sounds more feminine than male. Anyways, I'm calling it a her. As Jet Jaguar grabs her spear and is about to swing down on some sort of opponent. It also says SH Monsterarts. The name of the figure in kanji, it's either kanji, katakana, or hiragana. I cannot remember which one it is, but from the looks of it, I think katakana. This has been embarrassing, but I have been doing Duolingo, so I can find out the Japanese on the SH Monsterarts boxes. But I can see that says 2021 and Jet Jaguar 2021, SH Monsterarts, but it should say Jet Jaguar 2021 or Jet Jaguar Beta, because that's the real name of this version of Jet Jaguar. Has the little Tamashii Nations quality sticker, Godzilla, all this. Bandai and Tamashii Nations down there. On one side, it shows Jet Jaguar running with the spear. The other side just shows the spear. And if you're wondering, yes, all sides has this weird mumbo jumbo of like geometry and physics and all that. If there's one thing I agree with Jabba Hong on about Godzilla, singular point, it's plot. Yes, the kaiju and the story was better than the anime trilogy, I definitely say that. But instead of being, like, too boring or doesn't really come off as good, because for me, I didn't understand it. I did not understand it, especially the ending. I'll talk about the Godzilla anime trilogy once I get to those figures, but right now what I'm saying is this one, instead of being too simple, it felt too complex. Way too complex and I've had to watch it 5 to 6 times to finally understand everything. With the whole past becoming the present, the future also becoming the past, the orthogonal diagonalizer, if that's how you say it. Basically, it's all confusing as hell. Like, the bones that make Mechagodzilla are also the same bones of the Godzilla that appears when Godzilla is evolving into Ultima. Like, what I'm saying is, The Ultima bones are the same ones in Mechagodzilla that we see at the beginning. If I'm correct, it's a loop. The series is in a constant loop, from what I've seen, and from me watching the series over and over and over and over again. That's what I've basically said. Anyways, the top, name of the figure, bottom, this is what it's flying mode. In the original show era, it did like a Superman or Ultraman pose and then flew. Here, it literally, when it flies, it does the antenna things like before, but it literally has helicopter blades. And you're saying, well, it doesn't look like it's that big. It's probably a spear, the figure, doing a T-pose. How can this thin of a box hold that back? Well, unlike my other videos, I'll show you. It's because most of the space is actually just nothing. You can see what I mean. Gap, gap, gap. It's just because of them shoving it wherever they could. I bet it would be a bit bigger, but anyways, let's look at the figure. We'll put the box aside since we finished looking at it. Let me snap to everything we get. A miniature Yun Arikawa figure for all you model painters. You can paint him up if you want. He doesn't have that much posability. He has a swivel at both of his arms, and his legs can kick up that far, and his knees are actually on, they're on ball joints. For some reason, that is the only part on ball joints. So you can make him look like he's running. Get to the next accessory, being a chair for him to sit in, which looks like a car seat chair, but you'll eventually find out where this actually goes. Anyways, on the back of Yunarikawa, there is a little peg on his butt. You want to get him into a sitting position, move his arms up. Can they move in and out? No, they cannot. Grab the chair, sit him in it, like so. Come on. Make sure the peg does go into the hole, by the way, and you'll feel it when he's really in there. He won't fall out. Then bend the knees, push the legs down, put the arms, and bada bing, bada boom. We'll find out what this is for later. These, even though they look like middle finger hands, like they're flipping you off, these are thumbs up hands. They do not look like it. These are grabby hands for grabbing the spear. You can tell, since unlike the other ones, these are completely hollow. See? This weird block thing you would think would come with the Nintendo Switch 2 actually is a battery. But not for the Switch. No. This is Jet Jaguar Beta's battery pack, which goes on, well, the back of Jet Jaguar Beta. Here we have the bottom of the spear, and then here's the top of the spear. If you're wondering why they're separated, well, it's because if they were together, they would block, well, where they're positioned currently, they would block, make it hard to get Jet Jaguar out of there. I don't know why they didn't just, well, actually, it's too big to fit. Well, you get the point. It was too big to fit in anyway. See? Yeah, way too big for them to fit inside like that. But yeah, this is Jet Jaguar Beta Spear with, and it's called the Spear of Anguirus. I think that's how that guy pronounced it, Otaki, or whatever. It was either Anguirus or the Spear of Anguirus, which is a way cooler name. Anyways, let's put that right there and get to the next thing. Here we have a base for Jet Jaguar Beta, but not any base. No. The stand here, unlike being posable, it can only swivel, and for one reason it can only swivel, and it's not on a ball joint. If you stick it in, swivel, you can tell. and it's sturdy. That is because it is a flight stand for Jaguar Beta. Now we get to the flight parts. These tiny little things, which I have to be extremely careful with, are the flight antennas for Jaguar Beta. If you buy this figure, be very careful of these things. They are tinier than my fingers. Look at how tiny these things are. Before this review, I had to postpone it because I lost both of these. And literally, fun fact, this came back at both of these figures, Ultima and Jaguar, came around, I'm pretty sure, March or May at the end of the school year, but I had to postpone it because I couldn't find these two pieces. So I did other videos, and then I posted some of the reviews, and I'm finally getting to this video for obvious reasons. Okay, anyways, next is the actual helicopter part. Here it is. And if you're wondering, yes, both blades do in fact spin. And this is a replacement part for the battery. And time for the magic part of it all. The best part. Jaguar Beta. Here she is in all of her glory. Here she is in all her glory. Let me just move her arms down. And the arms hand she is equipped with when you first get her is open hands. Anyways, this figure, paint and detail, is really, really good. It's really good. I would say this has to be the best paint and detail I've seen on a figure in a while. Probably, what was for an SH figure? My last review, I think, for SH was Shimo. So, I would say probably from the figures I currently own, and if I'm correct, the last ones I did were the Godzilla x Kong New Empire ones. This one's probably on par with Godzilla Evolved. Speaking of Evolved, when trying to display him recently, I've had two problems with him. His hand, I can't remember, I think it was left or right, continuously fall off, and his head's joint has become super loose. So, that's something I will warn to all you Godzilla Evolved SH Monsterarts owners, that over time that may happen. But for this figure, over time owning it, it is super solid. Yes, the leg joints may be a bit wiggly, but that's only because of how the torso is built. But yeah, it's super solid. Screen accuracy, I would say it's like pretty screen accurate. Maybe I would give it, I would say it's pretty screen accurate. Almost maybe even a direct representative. Not so much Yunarikawa. It's more like a clay model for him, but Beta, perfect. So, let's get to her posability. Her head's on it's on a ball joint, actually. She can look up that far and down that far. Her arms are on a ball joint as well. And fun fact, her whole body is made out of hard plastic. See? But these are actually made out of rubber. These little yellow side plate things. And if you're wondering, yes, both sides are ball jointed, but they can move up that far and down that far. Her arm is also on a swivel there. Her bicep or elbow, whatever you want to call it, is on a bend there, and that's hard plastic. And it can go all the way, and she can touch her. I would say she can touch her chest. Okay. Wrist is also on a swivel, and as you saw earlier, her hand is on a full swivel. See? Wrist is on a swivel, and her elbow. If you pull it out too far and push it back in, the pipe may come out like so. So you may need to push it back in, like how I just did. See? There we go. Okay, her other arm is exactly the same. Ball joint, swivel, bend, swivel, and I forgot to mention the fact that these things can easily break because of how fragile they are. So unlike with what I just did when trying to swivel it, see how it just broke? Because of how thin some of the plastic can be, it just don't, at least I wasn't swiveling it too hard. It just broke under pressure. So be very careful and do not do what I did. Plus, I wasn't going to have her in her default hands anyways. I was going to be putting her grabby hands on. So I'll do that right now. And if you're wondering how to change hands, it's simple. I'll put the old ones back on so you can see. Here we go. Here we go. Well, I'll do it once we get to accessories, putting them on. Her torso is on a swivel. She has an arcing back. That goes that far back, and then that crunch that goes about not that much forward at all. Her torso, as I said, or bottom of her body is on a swivel. She can kick that far up. Basically, if I move the arm out of the way and turn her torso, she can do a full 360 kick, basically. Practically. There we go. So if I move that, yeah, she can do a full 360. And then if I do the same with her other arm, do that. That's if I edit the body, but then if I just keep it straight, she can kick. Oh my gosh, she can still do the whole thing. Anyways, her leg is on a swivel there, both of them. And yes, this is actual wires right there. Her knee is on a double bend, like so she can kneel down easier. Her foot is on a, well, not really a swivel, but that's what that's up there for. Her heel, though, is on a bend, and her front foot's on a bend. And these are connected, so her heel bends that far down and literally not that far up, but can swivel not that much. And her foot is about the same. Now for how to take those hands off. You just want to gently turn them, like so, showing gray holes. See? Like so. Then, what you want to do is grab the hand of choice. For me, it's these fists or grabby hands. And you want to just push them on gently. Not with force, but gentle. See? Just like so. There we go. Let's now put her back into her default position. And if you're wondering what's supposed to go there, the backpack or battery. So you just put in by a little bit of force, and there you go. Then for her spear, if you're wondering how to get it in, it's simple. If you already have it built, destroy it. Or not destroy it, but take off the top part. Then grab the bar part, slide it right through her bottom hand, and then grab her other, like so, or I should probably be showing it. Slide it through her bottom hand, like so. Then, which makes it kind of look right now like a medieval spear, you know, like kind of for throwing. Anyways. Then grab her other hand. Have it however you want. Like so. Now it looks like she's holding a broom. Anyways. Then grab the top of the Anguillus spear and connect them like so. Giving her an impressive weapon. One problem though with this. I'll show you. Yes, it may be impressive. It may be cool when she's holding it. Only problem, the back weight. What I'm trying to say is it's extremely heavy for this figure. So, would I recommend a figure stand? Yes. If you're going to display this thing with the spear, yes, I would 100% recommend a figure stand, or to have it against something that looks like rubble in a kaiju fight, or something like that. Or, if you can, which I'm about to try, yeah, it's not working. So, you see, when I try to either this, yeah, you can see it's just not working. So I would say probably you would need a stand for these poses. Like so. See? So that goes like so, but I'm guessing that's for default figures. Like a default figure stand, not one of this magnitude. With this, you can make it look like she just jumped. There we go. If you really want to give the illusion of a jumping figure, what I would recommend, real quickly, grab this as if it was a spear. If there's any weapons, have them facing upwards. And fists as a hand. There we go. To make it look like they're actually, if this is kind of more jumping into a deep area. See? Makes it look like they're about to jump off a waterfall or jump off into a ravine. Something you would see in action films. But that's not what we're here for. This is a figure review, not a posability or how to do this 101 movie review type stuff. Anyways, let me fix this up, take the spear out. Okay, put this back on. Front the hand, the arm came off. Okay, hold on while I do some repairs real quick on her. There we go. Fist gone, and then I will show you guys how to add the backpack. Or the flying one. You get what I'm trying to say. Okay. First thing you want to do. When Jaguar is in avian mode, or flight mode, whatever you want to call it, first thing you want to do. My opinion, this makes it easier. Jaguar, just sit down. Okay, good. Take off the head. Let's see why. Okay, see these little things on the side? Be very careful, but take them off. Look at how tiny they are. Do the same thing on the other side. Now you're left with this weird looking Jaguar head. Now, grab one of them. For the right one, for the right side. Make sure, I'm saying this with a lot of enthusiasm, make sure when you put these things on, it's faced like this. And you put it on the head. See? See? Right, like so. This may not be helpful, and if so, I am sorry. But this is how the head should look. Whoops. Look, if you got it done correct. If my camera will focus, see? Just like so. Anyways. Once you're done, you can either, by the way, you can either do it when the head's on the body or off the body. For me, I just find it easier to do it when it's off the body. But it may be a bit more tricky to get the head back in. Yeah, it's gonna be a bit tricky. Hold on. Next, you want to take off the backpack battery and these little clips. And you want to remove the butt flap. Okay? The chair here goes into where the butt flap once was. And I'll say this now. Put in a lot of pressure to make sure it stays. Once you do that, then grab this and put this where once was the battery. So, apply some force, turn these up however you want, and then these can be used for air diversity or whatever. Then, just have her in whatever pose you want. And if you're wondering, there is a place where you can hook it on, like so. My opinion, doing aerial poses. Okay, so I didn't really get to finish it at all since my phone was gonna die. What I was trying to say earlier. So let me say it like this, real quickly. Basically, we'll finish this up, and I'll do an actual proper. While giving my final verdicts, I'll give a proper thought and I guess a proper finishing to the review. Sorry if it was a bit rushed. Everything else though, with the whole antenna part, be careful with them because they are easy to lose. And the instructions on how to get the whole flight gear is also true. Just remember those. And in my opinion, I feel like the actual easier way is keep the head on and remove the antennas. But one thing I did forget to go over before finishing up the review is the spear. This spear, the one that SH Monsterarts made right here, it's full of detail, and boy, the detail on this thing, superb. It's really good. It looks like it came right out of the show. Looks like some sort of weird paintbrush when I hold it. Something you would use for brushing potentially. See? Or if you wanted to, a box opener or a knife. But anyways, my point is, this thing looks like it came straight out of the show. Which is good. Which is very good. Anyways, also another thing. The figure itself. We'll go over that now. First, accessories. 10 out of 10. It comes with 3 pairs of hands, a crud ton of accessories, and even I guess comes with another figure, the whole Unity-Kala figure. But you will have to paint it if you want it to look like it's the same character from the show instead of a blue model. Secondly, articulation. This thing is basically articulated about everywhere. There's joints in the whole arms, the whole legs, which makes it a bit weird to pose at times. Very, very weird. Because also the leg is on a hinge joint. I don't know if I said that in my posability section, but it's on a very good hinge joint, which makes it so that foot can bend this way and then bend that far the other way, which is, I don't think you would ever have a use for that, but just in case you do, there it is. I guess for a kick. I don't know. Anyways, posability on this figure, terrific. 10 out of 10. Accessories, 10 out of 10. What else? I guess my only nitpicks are the whole how I would rather, this is my opinion, I would have rather had a separate head for that part. I would have rather had a separate head with the antennas than have it so you have to take it off. I get it. They did it so, you wouldn't break it, but if the antennas were made out of rubber or soft plastic, like how these parts are literally made out of rubber but still hold their shape, then yes, I would have 100% rather had an alternative head. Detail, like I said, 10 out of 10. Articulation, 10 out of 10. Screen accuracy, everything. I would say this singular point SH Monsterarts figure is a full 10 out of 10. Overall, 10 out of 10. This is just my opinion. The articulation, wonderful. The accessories, terrific. And if I'm not going to use the flight stand, it can also be used for other figures to have it look like they're in the air. So, 10 out of 10 with that. And then, just everything. It's a good figure. Unlike the others, which I did have nitpicks, but I was afraid to say. For Shimo, pricing. Way too fucking expensive. Godzilla Evolved. Where the hell is his atomic breath accessory? So for Shimo, it's an honest 6 out of 10. Because it comes with a alternative Kong face if you're ever going to use it. 6 out of 10. But it's also the possibility. Evolved Godzilla, for his rating, probably a 5 out of 10. 5 or 6, maybe 7, because of the detail, the articulation, but because of how it's gone over time. I'll say 2 things. The head's gotten loose, when the hands have gotten loose, and the horrible accessories. Yeah, probably a 5 out of 10 right now. For Scar King, he's decent. Screen accuracy, though, so I'll probably give him a 7 out of 10. Kong. He looks pretty good compared to the screen accurate counterpart. So what I would probably say is for Kong, accessories, but since they do come with the other figures, which means if you want Kong's roaring head with silver tooth, or growling head with silver tooth, or the beast glove, you have to buy Shimo, you have to buy Scar King, you have to buy Mothra and Zuko. I would say this, if you're actually ever going to do that, just buy Scar King. Because you can just paint, if you're a good artist, you can just paint the tooth silver. And in my opinion, that would be better than spending over $200 on figures, like I have. So if you take that part out, Kong would probably be a solid 7, 6 out of 10. Just because the fact if you want to complete SH Monsterarts Kong from Godzilla X Kong the New Empire, you basically have to buy the complete set. Okay, so I know the Jaguar portion wasn't too good, but I was kind of rushing around since that day I had to leave for Hawaii. So this kind of was just split into 2 sections. So, anyways, let's now look at the Nintendo Switch 2. I've already had it out for a bit, and it's a good device, but I'll show you. I'm pretty sure you get this separately, this controller, which actually works very well. The buttons work well, all of them. The Joy-Cons, you can hear, also work well. I don't know what these buttons here on the bottom are for, though. Pretty sure it's for connecting potentially. You can see this. Let me grab a flashlight real quickly. It's still morning where I am. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's to connect this button, that button right here. This is obviously a setting button. And these are little side controls. Anyways, other than that, the controller is definitely good for gaming. You can tell. The whole Joy-Cons and everything. It's really good for gaming. Let's back out. If you hear any crunching, it's just random stuff. But yeah. Controller, really good. Really good for gaming. Let's look at this new thing Nintendo decided to add. Basically a camera, making it so that what we now have is, you could call it Discord, but not Discord. It's for Nintendo Switch. And by the way, before we go any further, this is what the box looks like. The front shows what the camera looks like. Side shows someone putting it down next to the Switch and being connected to the top. Here it shows how it works, the sensitivity, how it works, and all that. And someone else shows it posing. So yes, this thing does have posability. And I did get one for free with my Switch 2. For some reason, they decided to give me a second one. I don't know why yet. Anyways, and I'm going to be giving this to a friend, so hopefully they like it. This one here. Either one of them. They have a Switch 1. I'm hoping it works with that. Because if not, I don't know what I'm going to do with the second one. Ugh. Okay, anyways, here they both are. Here's the cardboard it came in. The wiring. And from what I can see, it has a swivel here to hold the wire. The base, which says Switch 2, if you can read it right there, Switch 2, Switch 2. The cameras can look up and down, but no side to side. And they have this little thing which is on a swivel, which I'm guessing is to close and open the camera. See? Close it, open it, close it, open it, close, open, close, open it. You get the point. Anyways, if I can't find anyone that wants this here where I live, maybe I'll see if someone on the internet wants one of these cameras. It looks like one of those things you would see at a announcement stadium if you turn it like this. Okay. Let's get to the next thing. Actually, I forgot to rate the previous stuff. So let me do that first. So for the controller. So it's a typical Switch controller. Or not Switch, typical gaming controller. You know, the one you would use for playing all sorts of games. So yeah. Anyways, I'd probably give this 9 out of 10, since I know how some of this works, but not all of it. The only reason I give it like a maybe 8 or 9 is because of this. That's the only reason. Other than that, it's a good controller. Okay, the cameras. Since from what I've heard, they aren't good, too good. And plus, it's simpler just to do an actual Discord call than the whole game chat for Nintendo Switch 2. Yeah, I'm probably going to give that like a 4, maybe a 3 out of 10. Now for the Switch 2 itself. As I've said earlier in the review, I have owned this for a while. So if this doesn't look like it's up to like the actual, like how it looks like when other YouTubers unbox it, That's because I've owned it for a while. Okay. Go. Get the dock out. Okay. So, the box for the Switch 2 is really nice. Shows on one side someone putting the Switch 2 into its dock, another side someone playing it in the world, other side playing it with playing on the Switch 2 with a friend. Front, the Switch 2 itself. Top, Nintendo. Bottom, it shows all the licensing mumbo jumbo, and it is a really, really nice thing. Shit. I'm gonna have to edit that out. I really, really do hate how short. This is really nice. And plus how it's a fold-out box as well. Nice, it's nice. Okay. Now, let's get to the actual stuff. The Switch 2 comes with a charging port, yep, that says Nintendo on one side. The other side has copyright mumbo jumbo, and actually does good for charging the Nintendo Switch. It takes at least an hour, maybe even 30 minutes, if you have it in a good outlet. I've been using this for a while, so I give it a solid 9 out of 10. The only issue is if you lose the port, it's gonna be hard to find another charging port with the same plug. Output, whatever you want to call it. 9 out of 10. We have then the dock. I don't know where because I used to have a Switch 1. I think I gave the dock to my friend as well. Only problem, so it's good. Easy to carry and easy to get to everything. Unlike before where you had to do that. And we'll get to this in a bit. It's easy to do everything. Very, very easy. And if you need controller outputs, there they are. It's like very useful. Okay. We'll get to the cons with everything actually. So, we'll go through. So it's nice looking. We then have this. So you can grab the Switch 2 controllers. And let's say you want to play. There you go. I like the whole magnetic thing. That's really nice as well. So, let's do that. And do the same on the other side. This here is really nice though. Really nice and easy to use. And then we have the whole thing for the whole mouse, which we'll get to. And then finally we have the Switch 2 itself. Which, for me, it has been doing very, very well. We are going to use that account. Okay, I'm back. Okay, here we go. Anyways, now time for my final verdict on the Nintendo Switch 2. So, the pros about... Let's go through all the things here. Okay. Pros about the port and charging cord. Easy to find a place to plug in, basically because ports are or outlets are everywhere, and the cord, basically does record charging, really good charging. Okay. Pros for the dock. It's very easy to plug things in, get things out, and just have everything ready to have group gaming. Very simple and easy to do. Unlike the Switch 2, where it was a bit of a task. That's the pros I would say for that. Pros for this, very easy to get the controllers in and out. Makes gaming a lot easier. So that's the pros for the controller. And the pros for the mouse part is it's just makes it comfortable to hold if you're going to be doing it in hand like this, and makes it so you don't scrape up your controllers when doing the mouse part. Okay, pros for the Nintendo Switch 2. Everything that Nintendo said is true. It's really good, more storage, more frames, everything, really good. It's really good. Cons. Okay, cons. Let's start with this here. There ain't too many cons I can say for this. Not too many at all. Probably the only con I can say about this is it's kind like there's, let's say you want to keep your controllers. Wait, do you even have to keep your controllers charged? Let's see. Controllers. Do you have to keep them Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So, basically, I would say for... I wish Nintendo added, like, ports onto here. So, you didn't have to... If you were playing, let's say, using the dock, you wouldn't have to take them off and put them onto the Switch to dock, if you know what I mean. So I wish they had a charging port there. That's the con I would say for the Switch 2 controller. Con for the Switch 2 dock. It gets damaged very easily. Very easily. The paint rubs off way too easily. Okay. That's about the only con I can say. Con for this, the mouse things, they get tangled way too easily because of these down here. They get tangled way too easily, and the controllers sometimes don't want to come out of them, which makes it a pain in the butt. That's the cons for these. Cons for this. Because of the plug not being in the middle, it makes it hard to actually sometimes get it into a port without it potentially drooping down or straight up just falling out. And the cord is not that sturdy. You can tell right there I've had to bend it back into place multiple times. And to make it worse, the plug isn't your default like phone cord, whatever, for Android. It's, you could say, a double-sided Android plug, which makes it harder to find a port to put the cord into if you lose this. So if you get a Switch 2, do not lose this. Switch 2 itself. The negative part, in my opinion, that so far I have found, is the whole virtual game cards. Where is it? Here, virtual game cards. I still don't care for it as that. Like, I don't care for it at all. I really, really don't care for it. Won't load, but you get the point. Other thing, the price. the price for it, I don't care for either, and like some of the stuff for the Switch 2 I don't care for, and its durability is not that good. I've dropped my Switch 1 lots of times onto the ground, concrete, wood, like anything, and never does it get damaged like that. I dropped this thing once onto concrete, and this is what happened to my Switch 2 controller. Look at that. Look at that damage. And it's gotten more damage here and there, like... Sorry about that. Look at that, right there. Just for me dropping it a second time. The Switch 2 may be good and durable here, but the controllers in the back is not as durable as here. And for the people who break these things just for views, you need help. You need help. Don't buy an expensive thing just to break it. Don't. For me, if I saw anyone do that with SH Monsterarts figures, I would scream to the high heavens. But yeah, out of everything I would say never do. Never buy an expensive figure, gaming equipment, or anything of the sort, only to show on YouTube or some sort of social media platform you destroying it. That's stupid. Okay. Anyways, that's about it for this video. So this review should be about the SH Monsterarts Jet Jaguar Beta from Godzilla Singular Point and the Nintendo Switch 2. If not, they will either be in separate videos, or I'll just have one about the Jaguar Beta, and one about the Switch 2, or just Beta. Because, no matter what, I'm going to have Beta's video, so either Switch 2 will be in it, or will not be in it. So, with that said, hope you guys have a great day or night wherever you live, and peace out. See you later, alligator. Bye-bye. Oh yeah, in our next review, we will be looking at my last Singular Point character, Godzilla Ultima. And then I will be done with the Singular Point reviews, and we will get to look at some GVK figures. But anyways, hope you guys have a great day or night wherever you live, like I said earlier, and bye-bye. I call it a review. Runs across.